Surrender to the Incline. That was by Amy Steinberg, and the opening song was Jamie Lula and Gary Lynn Floyd, just so you are aware of musicians that we play. So this month, we've been talking about the everyday wonder of work. And some of you are wondering, really, what does that have to do with my spirituality and my spiritual practice? Well, I believe that everything is spirit, therefore everything is part of your spiritual practice. And we've been talking about different aspects all month of work. This is the last week of the month, and I'm talking about failing forward. Sit with that for a moment. And I'm watching some of your eyebrows went up like, what? Failing forward. Failing. I know you thought I was saying falling. Does it say falling? Yeah. Well, it's just a test. Because sometimes when you are failing, or in your mind you feel that you are failing, you feel that you are falling forward. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about failing or falling forward. And the first thing I'm curious about is, some of us were raised, just listen to this for a second. Some of us were raised with this idea. Failure is not an option. Anyone raised with that? Yeah, kind of a burden, isn't it? I mean, if you're taught failing is not an option in our household, then how would you be inspired to ever try anything new? Because truthfully, the only way you get good at things is you try and you work at it. And sometimes you miss the mark numerous times before you get good at it. And our society has raised us to believe that if we don't get it first time out of the gate, we've failed. That's inspiring. Yeah, that's really inspiring. I want to try this new thing, but oh my God, I might fail. Chances are, if it's a new thing, it'll take a couple of times before you get into a rhythm. And each time you've supposedly failed, which I just choose to call missing the mark, you learn something, hopefully. I know for myself, there's been times in my life where I've messed up. You know, you make a big, what we would call mess up, screw up, blew it. And my father used to say to me, well, you really messed that up. Well, it took a little time for me to get a little more backbone to speak up to my father. And I finally would say to him, no, Daddy, I learned something. And then he stopped saying that to me. See, because he was raised to the generation where failure is not an option. So he was an overachiever to mess up or to make up for any time he messed up. And so it was like, you know what, I'm not taking that on. No, Daddy, I just learned something. So here's the thing. If you right now are thinking about falling forward, failing forward, because you have this really great idea, guess what? If you don't take the leap into the curiosity in the land of wonder, I wonder what it'll be like. I wonder how I'll do. I wonder if it'll be successful. We won't know if we just are not willing to put our toe in the water, check it out a little bit and say, well, that wasn't too bad. Okay. And that was just like me today wanting to announce something different to the community, knowing that there'd be somebody sitting in the audience saying, I didn't like the way she said that. Okay. I don't know if I don't say things. And I'm here to set an example of what it is like to sometimes supposedly fail or fall forward. So I invite you, if you're sitting there right now saying, I know she's talking about me again, or how did she know I felt that way? I'm always talking about me. If it resonates for any of you, that's fabulous. okay? But I want to talk about this idea of failing, because what if they're just opportunities? What if you're doing this thing out of habit for years and you're too afraid of failure to try something you're really deeply, passionately called to do? Because you feel embarrassed, you feel you might be shamed, because maybe it's not the right path. But what I've observed is any time I've tried something new, and it maybe wasn't it for me, and I supposedly fell flat on my face, you know, where people are laughing and pointing at you kind of a thing, all that I got a chance to do after I experienced embarrassment and shame was to ask myself, what did I learn from this? What was the gift? How did it present itself as a present for me? You see, if we each time learn a little more, we gain a little more trust, we gain a little more faith, we gain a little more conviction in ourselves. And then some of us, we're not aware of the fact that we do something repetitively because we have a mindset that says, I'm not worthy, or I'm going to fail, I'm a failure, I always fail. Some of us were also taught as children, you're never going to amount to anything. You're always going to fail. And because we have that mindset, I mean, it's ingrained in us, we're already believing, it doesn't matter, I'm going to blow it anyway. Because we don't have that faith and that conviction in ourselves and that confidence in ourselves that nobody can tell me that about myself. And so if each time I make a little blunder or a big blunder and I get a chance to say, okay, and I do, what did I learn? Maybe each time I do it, I get to cut out additional steps that are not necessary because I learned, oh, I didn't need some of that. Or, oh, I needed a little more of that. Or what if it just said, I'm going down the totally wrong path. I'm just skipping down the road on the wrong path, waiting subliminally for a sign that says dead end to say, oh, I guess I got to go a different direction. So I want to invite you to consider the idea of each thing we do that we may not perhaps succeed the way we would like or the way someone else would like us to do is just an amazing new opportunity to be humbled, to be grateful for our willingness to bounce back, take a deep breath, shoulders back, and say, I got this. I could do it. Now, I'm going to use an example that one or two of you might relate to. It's like going for a job interview. You know, you honestly are excited about the job. Maybe you're really not super qualified, but you're going for it anyway. And you're going for the job and you're telling yourself, this is the best opportunity. Oh my gosh, I see myself in this job. And you go to the interview, and you know you're doing your best to be calm and not seem like you're anxious or nervous, and all of a sudden, you personally think you're doing great. You're like in the zone. I got this. I nailed it. It's great. And you go home and you're waiting for the call back. And of course, it's also natural to have the mind chatter that says, I wonder if they liked me. I wonder if I did okay. I wonder if I answered that question right. Gosh, I hope I did okay. Because in our mind, you know, we're excited about the job. We want it. And we either, number one, don't get a call back, and we're kind of crushed. We're kind of crushed. It's like, wow, I thought that was mine. I totally thought I got it. Why didn't I get it? Or we get a call back, and the first thing they want to let us know is, number one, we did not get the job. And we're trying not to fall off our seat while we're on the phone. And they want to give us feedback as to why we didn't get the job. we're already crushed, and now we get to listen to the feedback because it'll be helpful, we tell ourselves. And the essence of it, after they name off whatever things they name off, was either one, you weren't qualified, you were overqualified, or the truth of the matter is you didn't fit. Nothing to do with you. You may not have fit in what they saw as their job culture. Would you want to work there anyway if you weren't going to fit? Heck no. Would you want to feel like you had to hide who you really are in order to feel okay? Yeah, wow is right. Yeah. Would you want to go and suit up every day and go to a place and say, I hope they don't know this about me. Hope I don't know that about me. And gosh, let me just be mindful of what I don't share because they probably won't accept me. So I'm reminded of an interview I went to for a very conservative ophthalmology practice, because that was my past life. And I've had red hair for many, many years. And I thought, oh my God, how do I go on this? What if they don't hire me because I have red hair? I was dressed in a professional dress code and the whole thing. And I have skilled interview techniques. And my mom says, that wouldn't be your place to be. Why would you want to work there? So I say this to you because when we feel that we didn't get the job, there's a piece of us that says, oh man, where did I blow it? What question didn't I answer right? What else could I have done? Why didn't they like me? It wasn't about you. What it was about was Great Spirit, God, Source Energy, had something better, way better than you could possibly imagine. And if you had accepted this, that could not have shown up. And you would have been really bummed, finding out later, oh, wow, we really wanted to interview you, and we found out you had already taken another job. And you're like, super upset. So sometimes Spirit, most of the time Spirit, God, Source Energy, has a plan bigger and better than what we can think of for ourselves. And so in our spiritual concept, in our spiritual teaching, we do a 5-step prayer treatment. And it is about the idea of praying for something or greater. So it's always this or greater, because it allows us not to want to control, micromanage God and what is being available to us. And I know we always think we know better. No, I know that if I do it with this way, it's going to be much better. But what if that thing that you've been waiting for has hit the pause button, just sitting there waiting for you to be ready? Because as soon as you are, the pause button will be released and it will avail itself to you. And I say this to you, many of you are older, so you might have a filter in your mind that says, this has nothing to do with me. Are you still alive? Then it has something to do with you. And if you're younger and you're still in that pathway called, I know how to micromanage everything, and I know if I just do this and control everything, it'll work. Probably not. Probably not. So I'm asking you to just see, when you have this desire to say, I have failed, when you have this desire to pay attention to old mind chatter saying, you are a failure, cancel it. It's not the truth. It isn't. Do you believe it's the truth about yourself?
At 3 p.m. at the center.
If you do, what will it take for you to change your thought about that so that you can stand straight, look in the mirror and say, I'm awesome. I've got this. I'm listening with an open mind to what's next for me to be involved in. So this failing forward has everything to do with your work life and everything to do with every other part of your life. Everything. From trying a new recipe. I always think about this. My father claimed to be one of these, at-home super chefs. He liked to watch all the cooking shows and make these elaborate gourmet meals. And he'd always say, well, the worst thing that's going to happen is we won't like it, we'll put it in the trash and go to McDonald's. And it took the pressure off, because it's like, well, if you don't like it, it's fine. You don't have to eat it. Or, oh, it didn't taste like I thought. It's not life-threatening, we move on. So I say all that for you to find some way to embrace the idea that whom you are is not a failure. Whom you are is a son and daughter of the beloved God, source energy. And who you are is to be that vibrant light that allows yourself to experience so many different things for the experience itself. Not for a gold star, not for approval, not to say, nailed it, just to say, I had a lovely experience, I learned, I grew, I'm so much more teachable. And so, leaning into the wonder and the curiosity of things allows us to be teachable. Because when we think we know everything, if we think we have to get it all right the first time, we're not teachable. We're closed. We're closed to what else source energy, God, wants us to know about ourselves. So I have a quote that I would like to read. I always like to read a quote that resonates with what I'm talking about. I hold in high regard this descents in my life experience. In the midst of setbacks or so-called failures, I gather my inner resources, give thanks for the lessons learned, and see my journey as bright with hope and charged with potential. I can do all things with clarity, commitment, and a deep sense of trust. And that's by Reverend Scott Aubrey. And I loved it because the ending, I do all things with clarity, commitment, and a deep sense of trust. That means trust in me and trust that is all available for me and my highest good. Now, for some folks, I like to pay attention to all cultures because this teaching is all embracing. Our theme is a world that works for everyone. And in order for that to work, that means we need to embrace, understand, and celebrate people. Embrace where they are, celebrate who they are, and to acknowledge perhaps things that they worship and honor that are true to them. So tonight is the eve of Rosh Hashanah for my brothers and sisters of the Jewish faith. I call myself a Jewish religious scientist, so to my brothers and sisters who practice Lashana Tova, which means Happy New Year, a sweet New Year. And this is a reading, a very, very, very short reading from a rabbi, because it reminds me, in the new year, in Judaism, we believe that we wipe the slate clear of all that has been. So instead of focusing on things that we supposedly failed at, we wipe the slate clear. It's a new year, and we start again. New opportunity, new moment. Gives us a chance to feel fresh, invigorated, and that we can do something new. So instead of saying I missed the mark, it says, I can always do better. It's a beautiful thing. The most important renewal of life is that which occurs on Rosh Hashanah, because this is when all life of the previous year returns to its essential source of new life, such as never known before, emerges from the void. Let me read that once again. Because you don't have to be a practicing Jew to embrace this. We're all connected. The most important renewal of life is that which occurs on Rosh Hashanah, because it is when all life of the previous years returns to its essential source of new life, such as never known before, emerges from the void. That's from Rabbi Tzvi Freeman. And I thought it was a lovely way to tie in the idea of failure and a new year. In every culture of different times of year, it's a new year. How lucky for all of us to know there's opportunities to celebrate more than one new year. And if you think about it, because in the new year we always make this list. Well, many of us make a list. I'm going to do better with this and this. We make a New Year's resolution, and then we set ourselves up not to feel happy about that. So if throughout the year there's different cultures celebrating New Year's, each time we have a chance to smile and say, new moment, I can celebrate this new year too. And kind of each time, moment to moment. But we really don't have to wait for some particular culture celebration. We really can each day wake up, say it's a new day, wipe the slate clear, start out, give ourselves our morning prayers and grounding, and go out there. And some people like to say, go get 'em. Just be with that. And so I want to just end with that, and I invite you, if you're willing, to gently either close your eyes or just have them relaxed as I go into a prayerful moment. On this eve of Rosh Hashanah, all people, all places, everywhere present, everywhere. In this building, the virtual Love Shack, this immediate town community, this state, and beyond and beyond and beyond, in the effort to create a world that works for everyone. I give thanks in advance for who we are as unique expressions of love, as unique expressions of individuality, and at the same time connectiveness and oneness. I give thanks in advance for knowing that who we are is the sons and daughters of the Beloved. And because we are mirrors of one another, we can see each other. We can see each other in the beauty, the grace, and all the different aspects, textures, fabrics of our being. We get a chance to smile and say, every day I am teachable, I am open and awake, I am aware. I am aware that as I do better in my continuous evolution as a person, I make a quantifiable contribution that makes a difference in my life and in other people's lives. And I, being part of the greater circle of I, or I am, continue to express myself, be my authentic self, and show up as a mighty expression of love. And any part of me that has mind chatter that says, I'm not big enough to be that, yes, you are. Let that go. Yes, you are. Because who and whom you are is whole, perfect and complete right where you are and right where you're not. You're absolutely perfect in your beingness. I give great thanks again for knowing that each and every person that is here is celebrating their own divinity. Each and every person out in community, that we know that we are mirrors for one another, and we're not strangers. We just haven't met one another before. And so we meet each other from that place of love in our heart. And we see each other and remember, I'm the face of God, you're the face of God. Where can we meet in the middle and connect and share from that place? I let go knowing that Great Spirit, God, Source Energies got that. And as I release my word to the action of the spiritual laws of the universe, I know that the only answer that can come back to me is a sacred yes, if I am open and willing. Knowing that God does have it, I anchor this prayer and invite you, if you will, and anchor it with me by saying, and so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every step you take. Bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing. The places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when, where, or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings, and you will do amazing. You don't have to work it out, just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. You will do amazing. Sing it with me. Just look at somebody for a second and sing. Amazing. Look at somebody else. Amazing. You will do amazing things. Oh, I know you will. Amazing. Yes, amazing. You will do amazing things. Can you feel that? Such beautiful energy we've created right here. Now what I want us to do is imagine that we filled this room and we're going to send it out into the world. This knowing, this positive, beautiful spiritual energy. Let's sing, we will do amazing things. Amazing. Amazing. We will do amazing things. Oh, amazing. Yes. Amazing. We will do amazing things. Yes. I know we will. Amazing. Amazing. We will do amazing things. We will heal the world today. Amazing. Amazing. We will do amazing things. And now what I'd like you to do with the deepest conviction and sincerity, place your hand over your own heart and tell yourself the truth. I will do amazing things. Amazing. Amazing. I will do amazing things. Amazing. Amazing. I will do amazing things. You will do amazing things.
Yes, you will all do amazing things. That was from Reverend Michael Gott. Just so that you start being familiar with the musicians that we play and their names, so if you seek different music that you want to get, you know who they are. So this is the time for our joyful giving. And I say joyful because if you're giving out of an obligation, it's the vibration of it is kind of not so happy. Whereas if you give whatever you have to give, whether it's in a tangible form of green money, or you give it from your sacred service heart, you're giving. And it's part of the practice of the law of circulation. You give out, and things come back in. It's part of the law of abundance. The more you give out of whom you are vibrationally, energetically, the more you get back more of that in the same. So when we ask that you give as a joyful giving, it means if you choose to hold whatever you are giving up to your heart to bless it, or in your hands to bless it, if you choose to do it virtually, there's the information right there. You choose to do it via a check, via cash, via coins, or via that sign-up sheet with your sacred service. It supports this community, Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, and it supports us because we do good works out in our community. Everything we're about is not in this building. We take projects to do good work out in this community so that we're contributing to that consciousness of a world that works for everyone. So if you Say the joyful giving with me. From God I receive, to God I give. Together we share the blessings we live. I am so blessed. I am so grateful.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And now is the time for our community closing song. We traditionally circle up and hold hands to do that, and you can participate with that if you're comfortable. You can stand if you're comfortable, and if you're not, you don't need to do that either.
You are the face of God.
I hold you in
My heart.
You
You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
And I invite you right where you are. If you're still holding hands, great. And if you're not, just remember that that connection that you had in holding hands is to remember how you are connected to each other. We are connected to each other. We're all the faces of God in many expressions. And as I mentioned earlier, when we're out in the world, they're not strangers. They're just folks we haven't met yet. It's an opportunity for us to remember that if we're going to be the face of God, and see each other as the face of God, it starts by just being that. So out in the world this week, I just want us to remember, when you have an opportunity to talk to somebody for a quick moment, sometimes that makes a huge difference in their day. You have no idea that a simple smile, just a simple smile, often can be the only smile that person has for the day, and that can make a difference. And I know if you do it, it probably makes a difference for you, just that you did it for yourself, if nothing else. So I'd like you to repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening.
Something wonderful is happening.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my heart.
Life is in my heart.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my pocketbook.
And life is in all matters, all of my affairs.
And life is in all matters, all my affairs.
So I take this life out
So I take this life out
and make a joyful noise.
and make a joyful noise.
So I just invite you all to have a great week. Remember to be the best version of yourself, because that's the only thing you can do. It's all you can do from moment to moment. We do have in Carter Hall through here an opportunity to break bread, coffee, snacks, and visit if you like. And I will be in the very back or front, based on your point of view, to be meeting with the Rev, and that way I'll just sit there, and if you want to come up and ask me any questions or just sit with me, not you folks that are here every Sunday, you can do it any time. Other folks, because you know how to catch me any other time. I know, that I'll be available. All right.